What is up, Packers fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Draft. It is Mock Draft Monday. I am your host and the publisher of Packer Report, Ross Uglem. And today, we're going to be doing our own draft, and we're going to be breaking down another Pro Football Network 7-round mock. I know this sort of seems like a carbon copy of last week. Right now, not a ton of people doing multi-round mocks. I think that's going to kick up now that we've had the All-Star games. Certainly kick up after we have the combine. Right now, though, PFN is really one of the only sites that's doing multi-round mocks as far as concentrating on the whole league. We will have a Packers 7-round mock from PFF linked and analyzed in the Mock Draft Monday post on Packer Report. But right now, we are going to go through a 7-round mock right there on PFN. This one, I know I struggled to find the who was doing the PFN mock last time. This time we know. This is Jacob Infante. I think he's a Bears guy, so we'll see what he does for the Packers here. But we'll bring that to the stage right now. Here we go. All right. I'd like to stop quick. So let's see. Luther Burden. I think some Packers fans wouldn't want to see that one. This is a tougher one. Right before Green Bay picks. I don't think Green Bay would love to see Morrison come off the board. And there's Walter Nolan. But anytime we start with Jahdae Barron, there is a massive smile on my face. As I mentioned, Jahdae is a capable nickel safety hybrid type who just spent the last year basically being a top 3 outside corner in college football. He was an excellent cornerback as an outside guy, proving that he could do that. And again, can play safety, can play corner, can play nickel, can do it all, and really put a plus player in at any of your 5 spots. Free, strong. Maybe it's a little small to play strong, but I would say 4 spots, right? Free, corner, or nickel. I think Jahdae Barron would be an upgrade and a massive coup for the Packers if they were able to do that. One of my top picks for Green Bay in the first round is Jahdae Barron. I wouldn't do this. Wyatt Millum from West Virginia, but I understand the point, right? My status or my concept with the Green Bay Packers this year, I wouldn't have made the Jordan Morgan pick. The Jordan Morgan pick obviously didn't do much for them in their pursuit of a championship this past year. Wasn't on the field when they played the Eagles because he was hurt, but also wouldn't have probably been on the field because he didn't win either of the tackle jobs in camp and really was only able to be a part-time player at right guard. I don't think even his upgrade over Sean Ryan would have made a difference. I don't think that was a very good pick. And the Packers are as good as it gets at developing those 3rd, 4th, and 5th round offensive linemen into real plus starters in the NFL. I would not, for a second year in a row, burn a top 60 pick on an offensive lineman. And I don't love the West Virginia kid either. Just as a prospect, he's not one of my favorites. All right, into round 3, Josiah Stewart. I like him. He's small. Same thing as the Mike Green conversation. I got him mixed up. I think I accidentally actually called him a Packersy type edge, and that's not true. He's small. He comes obviously from a program that they're very comfortable with, and he's productive, right? They love productivity, although not so much in pass rushers. Pass rushers, they mostly draft off of traits, especially in the top 100. But Stewart is small for them and probably not a likely target. I would be very, very, very sad if they took Stewart 2 picks ahead of Jalen Royals. I'd be really sad, frankly, if they took that West Virginia offensive lineman over Jalen Royals. Then we'll stop here at round 4, just because I'm not deep enough into my research to have a ton of takes. And again, Devin Neal, running back. I don't think they're in the running back business at all. I really don't. Josh Jacobs, unless you're going to release Josh Jacobs, which I don't think they're going to do. And that would not be based on performance. That would be based on finances. I just don't see it, right? You're going to have Josh Jacobs. You have Marshawn Lloyd, who you just spent a top 100 pick on. You're not going to count on him to be hurt again. I understand not counting on him to be healthy, but there's only probably 3 roster spots for running backs going around either way. And I think the third one's going to go to Chris Brooks. And if it doesn't, I think you can re-sign Emmanuel Wilson. I don't think you put any more big-time big time weight into the running back position. Especially, I think Devin Neal and Marshawn Lloyd to me have a lot of similarities in the way that they win. I would not go in and draft another Marshawn Lloyd in round 4 when you just took one in round 3 last year. I don't like the Devin Neal pick. I don't like a couple of these picks. But any draft that they left with Jahdae Barron, I think I'd be pretty thrilled with. But again, this one, a running back that I don't think they need. I wouldn't take an offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds, and Josiah Stewart probably too small for them. Probably not even somebody that I would say is on their board. I don't know that for sure. I just think it's unlikely. I don't think that they'd take Josiah Stewart, and I don't think that they'd take Mike Green. And I'm not even saying necessarily that I agree with that. Because I think both are good players, and I think their pass rush room could use a little bit of diversity, and you could use a little bit of changes in the way they win. But right now, man, I just don't see it. All right, let's go back to PFF. We'll probably use a different mock draft simulator next time, but Trevor Sikkema, we'll straighten all this out. Trevor Sikkema just redid his rankings after the Senior Bowl and after the Shrine Bowl. So we're going to get some different players in some different spots. So I didn't feel it necessary. This is for ease of use, this is my favorite draft simulator. So I just didn't think it was necessary, in my opinion, to change things up this time because there has already been a change at PFF since the last time we did one of these. All right. Here we go. Excuse me. All right. So bunch of guys I wouldn't be interested. I would have loved to have taken Egbuka or Abuka, Scarton. I wouldn't probably be interested in. Shadur, obviously not. Kelvin Banks, no for me. All right, here we are, right here. And again, I think I might have taken him this last time. I would be sprinting to take Mykel Williams, the edge rusher. And golly, I feel like I just did this last time, so this isn't going to be much of a difference, but we're going to do it because I would do it. I mean, there's just no way that I wouldn't take Mykel Williams. So I apologize if this is basically the exact same first-round pick as last week. We'll use a completely different simulator next week, but there's just no way. I mean, as much as I love both Kenneth Grant and Tyleik Williams, there's just no way that I'm letting Mykel Williams go at this point for what Green Bay needs, what I think he is as a football player. Even looking down, like I have no interest in Connor Lee, even over Jahdae Barron, who I would have a hard time. But man, I think Mykel Williams is going to be special. A little bit slow today over at PFF. You got to get the hamsters running around the wheels faster. There we go. We're rolling. We're rolling. Okay. Darian Porter's interesting. I've spoken before about how uncomfortable those taller corners make me, right? Like some of the only successful tall corners in this league right now are, I guess, Woolen. Sauce was bad last year, but I'm not saying he's a bad player. Then Pat Surtain is 6'2". Almost every other corner that's good in the NFL is 6'1" or shorter. It's just a hard position to play for tall people. And that is just concerning to me. I guess I would not be super excited about that. I think I'm going to go a little off the board here just because I feel this strongly. I'm going to find all wide receivers, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to take Jalen Royals just because I feel that strongly about him. So this hopefully is different than last time. I really, really like Jalen Royals. I get big time Greg Jennings vibes from Jalen Royals. I think I've also used that comp for Abuka, and I think he's probably closer, but I actually think Jalen Royals is probably a more explosive athlete. Like I think you're going to get more. I think you're going to get more Greg Jennings like productivity from Abuka immediately in his career. But like I said, I actually think Jalen Royals is the more explosive athlete and has maybe even a little bit of a higher ceiling. but Ibuka is going to be so good like on day one. I mean, he's going to be a number 2 the second he steps into an NFL building. And I know some people might not feel like that's worth a late first round pick, but it probably is. This one's a layup, absolute layup. Azareya Thomas. I think he is probably an upgrade for what Green Bay has, and we haven't hit corner at all. We might even be looking to do a 3rd round, 4th round double up at corner. But this is a home run because he's got height, weight, density that they like. He makes a ton of sense for what they want to do. I think even as a 3rd round pick, he can fight for a starting spot now. And Kobe Bryant is a scrappy kid, but I think he's skinny. They will usually not draft a corner. Maybe if we're talking about outside the top 100, they'll bend it a little bit. Maybe I've got slow internet here. I don't know what's going on. But they'll usually not draft a corner less than 190 pounds. Kobe's 175. Yeah, I don't think they're going to take him. I really don't think that's Willie Lampkin, my guy. Ooh, you know what? This is a kind of an Eric Wilson replacement, but really hey, maybe we should probably move. Maybe we should probably move Quay Walker outside type replacement. I'm going to just check and see if any of the linebackers I like better are available. Keep in mind, right? Obviously, these are PFF's rankings, not mine. I have Lindenberg and Kaiser really close. I like Jay Higgins. They might not. I guess right now I wish that Chris Paul Jr. was available, but he isn't. I'm going to roll with Jack Kaiser as like a very Jake Ryan type pick, a very Blake Martinez type pick, and probably try and install him immediately at the mic. So we went heavy on the football team here. And what I mean by that, I guess, is we went heavy on starters. We went heavy on offense and defense this first 4 rounds of this draft. And that's probably how I'd like most drafts structured. The first 4 rounds of this draft were really not at all considering Green Bay's special teams needs. These guys are guys I'm looking to start, right? Thomas, I'm looking to start on the outside of the cornerback position. If not this year, then next year, Michael Williams is your Preston Smith replacement, or in a direct competition with LVN that I think he'll win. I think he's a better prospect than LVN was, even throwing out what we know about, LVN's early struggles in his career. I like Michael Williams as a prospect better than I like Lucas Van Ness. You can go back and see my grades and where I rank Lucas and where I will rank Michael. I'm not just saying this to say it. Jalen Royals is your starting wide receiver, or, definitely one of the top 4 immediately. Of course, you wait then for Christian Watson to come back. I think Jack Kaiser could start at linebacker. And like I said, I think Thomas could start at corner. This is very much addressing the needs of the football team with players that I really like, much more than establishing depth, which would be like what a tackle pick would be that I would not like, or, some sort of emphasis on special teams, which they have done in drafts past, especially once you get past round 2. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching or listening. If you're on the podcast side, we're brought to you, of course, by our friends at Badger State Brewing, just minutes away from Lambeau Field in beautiful Green Bay, Wisconsin. Do everything that you're supposed to do here on the Pack a Day Podcast YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, click the bell, get the notifications, and by God Almighty, buy the draft guide. Link below. Use promo code DAILY for $1 off. But do it. It supports us, supports me, supports Packer Report, supports the daily draft. And it's the number one way, that we are kind of directly compensated for our time doing all this grinding on draft prospects. More of the daily draft ready to rock this week. Got even, I think, maybe one bonus episode because we got a little goofed up on the timing last week. We're going to try to get back on schedule. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Go Pack Go.